feel the most. They
Nothing like a
didn't
documentary.
didn't like care about
Yeah.
they didn't really care about the races. They were just kind of like, they're weird, but they were worried about the violence.
Then it was like a little bit about the races too. Like I asked the kid, we were in class. I think Angel asked him, and it was like a teacher. Oh, you can tell it.
All right, I asked it.
Yeah.
So, we went to like an English class, and so before the English class, we went to like 2 other classes, and the teachers were like really good teachers to us. And then we went to the English class, and I was like, oh, do y'all like this class or whatever? And they started laughing, and then I was like, is the teacher a good teacher? And they was like, oh no, she from Selma. Like that meant if a teacher was from Selma, that she wasn't going to be a good teacher. That's kind of what I got from it.
And then I asked her, like, I was looking around the room trying to see, like, the room was pretty much empty. And I asked her how long she had been, like, a teacher at the school. And she said she had been a teacher for 2 years, like, in the same classroom. I looked around the classroom, and it was probably, like, 2 or 3 posters. And the class was probably, like, bigger than this room.
Yeah,
Like, it was really big. The class was, like, empty. Like, she had no motivation for, like, teaching. And we saw it in the students, and we saw it in her. Like, we were finna leave, and she's like, okay, we're done. Like, basically, like, get out. And we're like, okay, well, thanks for having us. Like,
yeah, and it looked like you kind of get back from the students what you project, cause the teacher, Miss Davis, we went to her, I think, reading group or whatever.
the library.
Yeah, and all of them was like really bright and positive, and they kind of were aware of the circumstances, but kind of wanted to make it better or whatever. But then we went to that class, and the atmosphere was kind of like the teacher. Like everybody was just like, ready to leave or whatever. Yeah.
And then, like, the whole time we're in the class, like, she literally had her purse on her, like, the whole time. I'm like, no one teaches with their purse on them. Like, you come to class, you sit your purse down, and then you get to business. Like, she had her purse on her, like, uptight, like, the whole entire time we were there. I'm like, what is that about? I didn't really know. And I asked the girl, I was like, do she usually have a purse on her? And she was like, yeah, every day. And I'm like, she's been on this every day for 2 years? Why? I don't know.
Maybe she's had it stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's happened. She's had a bunch of stuff stolen from her.
I locked mine up.
Yeah.
And
that's something you
still
can't
got
do.
stolen hundreds of dollars we had saved for a coach right? Yeah, it's true to remember there could be another perspective,
Yeah.
but it definitely can feel like
Yeah.
something's just not
Yeah.
right. Yeah. But that, what you said is, I mean, there's a lot in that
There
statement.
is.
That piece right there,
Mhm.
like, oh, you're not gonna get here from Selma.
Mhm.
And I don't think I shared this with any of you. I think it was someone from another group, but one of the most impactful, in a very hard ways, moments that I had ever in the classroom here was early on, and I was in the middle of a sentence in class, and there was nothing brilliant about the sentence. I think it was something really boring about grammar. And a student in class, his name was Michael, he shouted out. He was really quiet all the time. He just shouted out in the middle of what I was saying, like, I knew you were going to be a good teacher. And I was like, okay, and we just kept going. And then I called him aside afterwards, and I asked him why he said that. I was not prepared for his response, but I'll never forget it. He just was really nonchalant. He was like, well, because you're white.
Yeah.
Do you I mean, I don't remember exactly what I did, but I remember grabbing him and I said, do you understand what you're saying? And he didn't, but it led into a conversation that we continued over time.
Yeah.
But that mentality, that somehow I'm better because I'm white and I'm not from here, that says obviously the opposite. If you're from here, you're not as good, and especially not as good if you're from here and you're black.
Mhm.
And that is a mentality that I wasn't prepared for
Yeah.
when I moved here. And I saw all the time in subtle and then also more obvious ways.
Maybe if the teacher did it would actually move
Yeah.
better.
When we first moved here, there was at the time the mayor was black, and another student said something similar to that. He said because there was issues happening, and he said, "Well, we just need a white mayor." And this was a young black guy that told me this, and I was like, "What?" It's like, what? I mean, what is that gonna do, right? But that was his mindset, that would have made it better, just having a white mayor. It just kind of, some of those mindsets are there, and students have that. I mean, it's like, well, they're from Selma, or they're this, or they're that. But it's interesting. I didn't realize the teacher was white that they were talking about.
So even from here, white or black or something, like this mentality, we're not as good, we're from Selma, it's not,
that's what most of them
Yeah,
said.
nobody wants to do that. I
Yeah.
think that's why Samaj's piece in the
Mhm.
movie is so powerful. Because it's not something he has, but it's a dream, it's a
Yeah.
desire of his heart to not just come back here, but to come back here and give back to
Mhm.
the whole community and the kids and to build that rec center because it's a place that he would have
Mhm.
loved to have been to,
Mhm.
you know. So that's one of my favorite parts of this,
Yeah.
this village.
Yeah, that is.
All the kids I spoke to, they said they were just gonna leave, they weren't gonna come back.
Yeah.
They were out.
Yeah.
Like, I told, even for like, Mancia, he was like, I can't wait to go to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, Denver, what about here? They go to college, like, you know, I'm going to Denver.
Yeah.
And, same thing for Marquise, and even a couple of middle schoolers, and like, they were just like, I want out.
Yeah.
Like, it was the only escape, the only chance
Mhm.
they had was to get out of Selma. And I was like,
Yeah.
I understand, you know.
I don't even think, I think they can go away and get something different, and then even be in
Oh, there's a
position
theme on
someday to
menu.
come back and bring something
I
back.
don't even think, because I spoke to that, you know, and I was like, so you guys can come back and help us see, and they're like, no,
Yeah.
like Selma's just not a place for me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just how they feel.
Well, I think the thing I was thinking about earlier, as you guys were all talking, and I mean, you see how important it is. I mean, when you're in every one of your careers and whatever you're pursuing, is to have that hope and to have that like vision. Because I mean, if you're, I mean, you're wanting to fight for people, right? For people's rights all over. But if you don't have that, you know what I'm saying? Then it's just kind of there's not a lot behind it. Yeah. So that's what I just appreciate about like this kind of experience. And I think even in the movie, I mean, you really feel that. You feel the hope, the fight, that it's there. And you guys, I mean, even being able to be real and sharing some of the things you've been through some things. I mean, you all have. Everybody has. That's something that we were even talking about last week. But I mean, everybody has a story to share, and we can all learn from that. So I just appreciate. I don't know. I think the hope that comes from that, and the life that comes from that. So.
We were in the library talking to the kids, and first when we sat down, she asked if we wanted to like ask them anything or if we had anything to say. So I asked them. I was like, at first I asked them like, what do you like about Selma? And they basically said the same thing, that it was boring, there's nothing to do, which I thought was really cool about the Tevers building because that's going to give them an opportunity to do something if they want to. And then they were saying like the violence was really bad, and then I was just like, towards the end, I was like, this isn't like there's a way that you can get out of this. Just stay on the right track and like do good in school and just be positive and just be successful and like don't let like all this negativity around you just like affect you, because it's gonna make you like the other people are, and they're just like, yeah, I know, like I have to like do good in school and high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I slipped up and I was like, middle school doesn't really count. But in the librarian was like, no. And I was like, okay, I take it back. I'm sorry. And I was just telling them, like, just be good and just do good in high school. Like, don't mess up like I did, because I messed up in high school. And I got the opportunity to go to college, but they might not get the same opportunity I did. Like,
Right.
if they don't get scholarships, because, I mean, I just have parents that can help me out.
Yeah. And some of them don't ever have anybody even talk to them about college.
Right.
I mean, they don't even see it as an option.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you know what though, like, they still have like dreams. It's not like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't know what I'm
Right.
gonna be. Like when we were in this
Exactly.
class, there were like electrical engineers, doctors,
Mhm.
lawyers, like all that things. So that's one hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like hopefully when they're like old and ready to go out into the world, it'll be different.
Yeah.
That's like a decade from now.
Go for it. Yeah.
So hopefully that'll work out.
Mm-hmm. One thing I've seen, I was talking with, I think Angel at dinner the other night. A couple of the guys I met, because I asked them what their dreams were and what they wanted to do, and what had kind of been, I think, just put in their heads was kind of figure out how to cheat the system. And they both wanted to get into the military. I was telling you that they wanted to get in the military and somehow get shot in the foot or something and get disability. I mean, they both told me that was their life ambition, and that's how they wanted to live the rest of their life and get disability checks. And it's like, okay, you're 16 years old, and this is what you're telling me. That's what's been
Right,
modeled
right.
for him,
Outer
exactly.
Banks.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Getting shot in the foot isn't gonna get you
No.
there anyway. It's
But
gonna
I
get you a little more
think-
dangerous.
I think they kind of. I mean, that's a given. It's not gonna get you nowhere, but I think in the
Yeah.
community it's so glorified.
Yeah, it
As
is.
far as any negative behavior,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the cool thing.
It
It's
is,
just
you're right.
glorified. So everybody
Right.
kind of, especially so young, you're a sponge.
Mhm.
You want to fit in or whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, as adults now we can look back and say, oh, that's the wrong thing to do. And that's not cool. But
Mhm.
as kids, I think all of us was impressionable. And if you seen
Yeah.
somebody older doing it, it's like, oh yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think that's another fight.
Mhm.
You gotta fight.
Yeah. No, that is, because I mean, then we get a chance, and we all get a chance to show them something different and model something different. And what's really cool is the one kid that told me that he's just got a new job, and Patrick,
I was wondering.
he's making good money now.
It-
And, ended up fighting to graduate high school. He wasn't going to graduate. He was going to, because they have to pass the graduation exam. He was going to drop out. And
He was in my class when he was a junior.
went to college, got a degree in welding. So.
Oh, you can make some big bucks then. You gotta do
Yeah, that's a good
If I
one.
didn't understand it, I was gonna be a welder.
Were you?
You don't fit the description.